Look what you did, you little jerk.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so we finished off our 9 parts for this firewood hutch. Now what we're going to need to do is go down here to the assembly tab. This is the place where we put our firewood hutch together. We want to go to insert, and we want to go and insert 2 legs. So we click on the leg, click in there, click on the leg, click in there. Tick. We're going to right click on this leg here and go down and hit fix. That's going to make sure this leg doesn't move around strangely, giving us a solid place to build everything else off from. So we're going to go to insert again. We're going to go to side rail. And we're going to go to tool rest. Tick. Now what we're going to do is come over here to the fasten mate tool. It looks like a cylinder. We're going to zoom in down here on this one here. Click on one of these handles. Now remember, you zoom in towards your mouse cursor. We're going to flip ourselves around. We're looking at the back of this one here. We know this because on the view cube we can see it says back. And we're going to join it here like this. So, you see how mine's joined strangely? I can use these buttons here to spin it around and make it go the way I want it to. I want this to be lined up with the inside edge of this, which means I need to offset it a little. Probably about 2.5. Done. So that's that part dead. This also needs to be sitting up 50mm from the bottom. So we're going to go to the green and put 50mm in there. So it's sitting up there like that. We're going to go back to the fasten mate tool. We're going to grab this corner like this. And we're going to push it there. Right, that means we don't have to do that first offset thing. What we do need to do is make it go down 50mm. If it does that, it goes the wrong way, it just needs to be a negative. So that's a negative 50mm there. And that's our first little bottom row done. So we're going to go fasten mate again. We're going to come to the side of this. Make sure you're on the end of it. See all these dots around the outside means that this end is where it's going to join rather than this side here. Then click on that corner there. We're going to spin ourselves around so we're looking on this one like that. And this needs to be sent down 100mm. So sitting there like that. What we're going to do now is insert 2 post inserts and 2 knobs. We're going to use the fasten mate tool again. So we're going to go down here, we're going to grab the corner of the top edge like this. And we're going to fasten it to the top corner like that. So it sits inside that hole there. Now, when we come to do this in the workshop, this will actually fit a lot nicer in here. We're just going to offset it by one, and offset it this way by 1 as well, -1. So it's sort of sitting in the middle. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Come down here on top of this one. Grab a corner. Zoom in here. Make sure it's joining to the top corner like that. And offset it. 1. And -1. We're going to come down to our knob. We're going to choose the end like this. And we're going to put it in the center of that circle there like that. And we need to offset it by 10 mil. That way it's sitting down in that little hole like that. And that's how we want it. So we can do the same thing to this one here. On the end of the little sticky outy bit. And then into that hole. Now what we need to do is insert 2 hooks. 1, 2. We're going to zoom in and grab the end of a hook like this. And then we're going to put it like that, sticking up in the center of this one here. That way we can offset it going on the red axis, going along there. Red minus 50. So we're going to have this coming in 50 mil from the edge of this here. And we're just going to do the same thing to this one here. Grab an end. Zoom back in over here. Stick it on there like that. Make sure it's sticking out the right way. And then offset it 50 mil. And that is what the side of our firewood hutch is going to look like. Now to save some time later, we're just going to go down here to this big plus button where it says insert new element. And we're going to have create assembly. And it's going to give us a second assembly. So we go back to the first one. We copy this. And we go chuck it in there. And then we're just going to go back here. We're going to keep working in this one. We'll come back to the assembly 2 later on. What we're going to do now is we're going to insert 2 front rails. Fasten mate tool again. Come down to the end. And this is going to join on the same level here. Just like that. So you can see it's in line with this edge here with a little bit of a quirk sitting there. And we're going to use fasten mate tool again. Come back here on the end. Just like that. When you have a little gap like that, call that a quirk. Go to insert. We want to have in 2 more side rails. Fasten mate. Come down here. Get an end. And we're going to put it on the end like this. Making sure it's sitting in the right spot. Like that. And then we need to offset it by 125. We're going to do this one here. Come down, grab an end. Attach it there like that. And now we're going to offset it 125.
it.
So I just made a mistake there. This was actually supposed to be 400 long. And you saw that I went back. I went and changed it in the part studio. Changed the links back to 400. And this has automatically updated this. So that this is now 400. And this has all been put back into the right position. So what we're going to have here is 125 there. 125 there. Which means it's going to be about 120 mil in the center there. So what we need to do now is we need to have this on the end again. Now we have this saved in our memory because we copied it before, so we can just paste it in again like this. And all those connections that we did have come over from this one to get here, so that all these joins are still there. What we're going to want to do is use the fasten mate tool, and when you come down here to this corner like that, and remember we want it to flip around, so we're going to join it to this side here so that these hooks are facing the right way. That's how we want it. And it's only going to move this one. But once we hit the tick, it all should come across. We still need to offset that down by 50. So sitting there like that. Now if I hit this tick button, everything should move. See? Just like that. And that saved us a fair bit of time having to put that thing back together. This is almost completed. What we need to do is put in our little cradle. So let's go to Insert. And what we want is 4 cradle pieces. Now if we click on this 4 times, we're going to get 4 iterations of that cradle thing. And that's just going to sit there like that, sort of stacked up on each other. That doesn't really matter because we're just going to be able to grab them from the end. So we're going to grab this, we're going to come down to this slanted end here. We're going to get the center point. Come down and look under here. We're going to stick it there like that. And we rotate it around until it's hanging down there like this. And this needs to be offset down our thing 100 mil so that it's in line with our tool rest here. Alright, that gives us a lot of room to stack up timber and stuff and not have it all spilling out. And now we simply attach these other ones. So we can go to the center here. And we're going to join it to the center of this one. And then we just rotate it around until it's going the right direction. Now we have a very small slight gap here. Don't worry about that. That's coming in because of how this thing's cut. It won't matter when we make it in the workshop. We'll still be able to do the same measurements and still have this thing actually sit nicely. We just do the same thing to the other side. So, I forgot to actually offset this. What I can do is I can come down to this list here and go back into the fasten thing in this list, which relates to where that was. And I can come back here and I can offset that. And that'll jump down there and this one will follow it because I anchored it there. That's the strength of this program, is that you're able to go back and make changes and then it'll update the rest of it. That way, if you change your mind later on, say you want to have these being 700 tall, you'll be able to do that and everything else will change around it. So we're going to get Insert and we're going to pop in our kindling tray. We're going to fasten this, the front center of this, and we're going to make sure that we're on the front of this. See, we're going to make sure it's on the front. And the front edge We want to join it there like that. And that is that section complete. Now what we want to do is go back to assembly 2, where we just chucked in this one here. And what we're going to do with this one is we're going to make an exploded view. Exploded views are very common in engineering drawings, especially when you have things that are inside of other things. So what we're going to want to do is going to come over here to this exploded views tab on the side here, and then go up the top here and say add exploded view. So basically what you can do is you just select the pieces you want to move and move them back. So we're just going to select all 3 of these bits here, just like I just did, and move it out to the side and hit tick. And we're going to select these ones here again. See how we can add that one later because we weren't able to click on it because this leg was in the way. And then we're going to grab those 2, drag them up, and we're going to add those 2 inserts to it. Tick. And we're going to grab on those 2 bits there and just have them up like that. And we want to have these little hooks, drag them out just a little bit, just like that. So, exploded views are used to show people how things get assembled together. And seeing as we've got hidden bits inside here, we need to be able to show people that these little bits go inside these poles here. So that is our exploded view. Alright, and that's the end of the assembly part of this project.